Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Welcome to all of you for this course of Pranayam. Pranayam is a very wide science of controlling breath and prana and all that. We are going to learn all that. But this course is a primary course, mainly designed for the beginners. Beginners in a sense, the person who don't know anything about that. And means any practice of asanas, pranayamas is not required for attending this course. Some of you may be knowing something of yoga, something of pranayam. You might have been practice asanas also or pranayamas also. But this course is particularly designed for the people who don't know anything about yoga and pranayama and all. So from the beginning we will be learning. So if you know something, it is not bad, it is good, no doubt. But as you are attending this course, you should keep your knowledge a little bit closed and start learning, because I will be teaching from the very beginning. So you can attend all these periods. This is totally 8 periods of half an hour each. So learn everything properly in this system, and after that you have to decide which you find it better, you can continue. So we'll start our first lesson with chanting of Om. I will say Om, please repeat after me. Please sit up in a particular sitting position, whichever is comfortable to you. Keep your spine erect, neck straight, eyes gently closed. And repeat after me. Gently open your eyes. When I chanted Om, Om has got very significant meaning in the science of yoga. It represents Ishwar, and Ishwar is the ultimate energy controlling the total universe. We'll study some points afterwards. And then we chanted one prayer, that is for the Guru. Guru is the master or teacher. Because we get the knowledge from our teachers. Masters, Guru is a very specific word used in yoga. And Guru is much on higher level than even teacher and master also. So we have to bow down to Guru because we are getting knowledge from him. So this prayer was for going down to our Guru. Anyway, every day we'll be starting our class with this moment, this prayer. And you will definitely understand the importance of that afterwards. Now coming to this pranayama course. Pranayama is a component of yoga. And particularly the Ashtanga Yoga, as explained by Patanjali. Patanjali has explained the science of yoga in a very systematic manner about 2500 years ago. He explains so many things about yoga. We are not going to learn all that. But he has explained Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga means 8. So 8 component yoga, that is very famous, popular and easy to practice for a common person. That is Yama, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. So out of these 8 components, Asana is third one, Pranayama is fourth one. Asana most of the people know nowadays. Different positions of our body. And coming to this Pranayama. Pranayama, there are 2 words, Prana and Ayam. Prana is an energy which stimulates our body. And each and every cell of our body is stimulated by the energy which is called prana. And Ayam is to control. Now we must understand the concept of prana first. That is very important. Because pranayama is a science to control the prana. If you consider the anatomy and physiology of human body, you know that there are enormous number of cells. Maybe bone cell, muscle cell, blood cell, nerve cell and so many. Cell is the smallest particle in our body which is live. And every cell has got its own function. So cell has to survive and function. As per the physiology, you can say cell takes the glucose and oxygen from the blood, oxidizes that glucose, and on that energy the cell survives and functions. But if you go a little deeper, you must know that this process of oxidation itself is stimulated by some energy. That energy is called prana. So when prana is not there, the oxidation process is not there. That is what is happening in dead body. Dead body, the blood is there, oxygen is there, so everything is there. But cell cannot do oxidation process, so all cells die, and that is the death. So existence of prana is very important. This is much explained in detail in yoga also. So this prana stimulates this oxidation process, and oxidation process stimulates every cell to survive and to function. And now this prana is distributed throughout the body. Every cell has got its own prana. Because every cell is surviving. But when the particular cell loses that prana, the cell dies. And you know, thousands of cells are dying every now and then in our body, and they are replaced by new cells. So how does they die? Because there is no prana. So there is a system of prana in our body, and that stimulates different functions of the different cells. It is just like the electricity in our house. We have got an electrical connection from the electrical company. We get electricity, it is same. But when it is given to the freeze, it creates coolness. When the electricity is given to the fan, it gives the breeze. When electricity is given to the bulb or light, it gives the light. Electricity is given to the heater, it creates the heat. So the electricity plays in different way. It works out in a different way. Similarly, prana is an energy in our body. It stimulates hearts to pump the blood. It stimulates blood cells for different functions. It stimulates different organs to carry out their own functions. Functions are varying. So this is how there is a total system of prana in our body. And when the prana leaves the body is dead. And if there is some shortage of prana for particular organ, that organ cannot function properly, we can say it is a disease. So for proper functioning of all the organs, proper supply of prana is very essential. So that is the meaning of prana in pranayama. And now the question is, I am to control. So pranayama is a technique to control this prana. But you will be quite aware that pranayama is a controlling the breath. Yes, process of control prana is through the control of breath. This is how you have to understand. So we must understand the breathing system also. And the breathing is a continuous process from birth to death. If breathing stops, it's death. Breathing is a symptom of liveliness. But now we have to consider a special quality of the breathing system. You see, our body contains so many systems. Circulation system, muscular system, bone system, nervous system and all. Now if you consider circulation system, heart functioning, it is automatic functioning. We can't control the heart. When we do exercise, the heart rate increases. When we realize the heart rate comes, it is all automatic control. The digestive system, automatically, we just eat the food. We don't know what happens, but it is properly digested. So many chemical actions take place, but they are automatic. So there are so many systems in our body, they are automatic, means they are controlling by autonomous nervous system. It is called involuntary nervous system. But some systems, they are controlled with voluntary nervous system, that is at our will. We can make the movements of the hands and legs and muscles. That is voluntary nervous system. We can chew the food, we can swallow the food. That is voluntary nervous system. So in our body, some systems are controlled by voluntary nervous system, that is by our will. And some systems are controlled by involuntary nervous system, that is autonomous nervous system. Those are not controlled at our will. Separate discrimination is there. Now coming to the breathing system, respiratory system. Normally respiratory system is controlled by autonomous nervous system. It is controlled automatically. You also need not have to bother about it. Air goes in, out, and if it needs, breathing rate may be high, because if you do some exercise, breathing rate automatically increases. If you relax, the breathing rate automatically comes down. So it is automatically controlled. But this is a system that it can be controlled at our will. If you decide to control the breath, maybe breathing fast or breathing slow, we can do it. So breathing system is a system which can be controlled by both the nervous systems, autonomous nervous system and voluntary nervous system. So we can control breath, but normally it is controlled by autonomous system, and that is by the prana directly. So this system is selected for pranayama, that you control breath, and by controlling breath you can get control over the autonomous nervous system and over the prana. That is the main aim of pranayama. There are different types and different results are there, that's okay, that we'll see afterwards. So with this intention, controlling prana is through the control of breath. This is the basic principle of pranayama. This we must understand. And when you are controlling breath, you are not just controlling breath. Ultimately, we have to control the flow of prana in our different organs and in our total body also. And that is why there are different types of pranayamas are there. They have got different results. There is some opposite results because Shitali Shitkari pranayama has got the cooling effect. And Suryadhan Basrika has got the heating effect. So opposite effects are there. So depending on the system of breathing, the effects are different. So we are going to learn all these things. But basically, as I told you, this is a primary course because ultimate pranayama includes holding of breath. So you have to inhale or exhale and hold the breath. And holding of breath needs practice of 3 bandhas. So it takes a very long time also. It needs proper guidance also. Just like this we cannot learn all these things. So we are not studying holding of breath. That is called kumbhak. Inhalation is called purak in yogic terminology. Exhalation is called rechak. It's better you remember these words also because I am using these words afterwards. Inhalation is purak. Exhalation is rechak. And holding of breath is kumbhak. So we are not going to study holding of breath at all. So it becomes very simple. Because holding of breath is complicated and to some extent dangerous also if not practiced properly. So for the primary course, we are eliminating all those things, definitely. We will be practicing different types of purak and rechak, inhalation and exhalation. And accordingly different pranayamas are there and they are giving the results. We are using these techniques in our yoga therapy center also. Thousands of patients we are teaching different types of pranayamas as it is needed by them. So there is no tension for all of you because you are going to get the good results only, no bad results at all. Only thing you have to follow the proper technique and technique is very simple, which I am going to explain. So you might have understood now meaning of pranayama and all that. That means we have to control the breath. For this pranayamic process, we have to control our breath. To control the breath, we must know about the breath. You may think, what is to know? We are breathing from the birth till today. We are breathing, but we are not considered that process. We are not paid any attention to that. Because it is autonomous nervous system, so it works by itself. You don't have to think that now I have to breathe, then I have to exhale and I have to inhale. No. It's all automatic. So we will first focus on our breath. That is the first technique of pranayama. First step rather I can say. It may not be technique, but it's a pranayama. First step, know your breath properly. Now breath is controlled by the metabolism also. Metabolism is functioning of our body. Different movements and all that. So we have to relax all the muscles first. So the breathing will be independent. Because if I am making the movements will control the breath. Here we have to free breath, not controlled by anything. So that is why we have to relax our body. And pranayama is to practice in a sitting position, preferably Padmasana, Swastikasana, Siddhasana or Vajrasana, something like that. At time being we can say only cross-leg position. And for some if it is difficult, we can sit in the chair and also practice. So starting with is okay. So let us start some practice. So take up a very comfortable posture, sitting posture. It may be Padmasana, it may be Siddhasana, it may be Vajrasana or just cross-leg posture or whatever is suitable to you. Because this is the beginning, so anything which is suitable, because you have to sit for a long time. So take up the posture. Now hands, they must be in Dhyana Mudra. So this is Dhyana Mudra. 5 fingers, this index finger and the thumb is to be made circular like this. Just touch the tip of fingers. Just touch. Don't press. Just touch. And remaining 3 fingers, keep it normal. It's just like some curved things are there. And this wrist is to be rested on the knees. Hands may be straight, may be bent, that is not important. Wrist must rest on the knees. So this is Dhyana Mudra. Many times we use this mudra in pranayama also. So take up this Dhyana Mudra, sitting position, spine erect, that is very important. Neck straight, that means don't bend in the waist or don't bend in the neck. Keep your waist also straight, neck also straight. Look to the front and close your eyes gently. Don't close them forcefully, just gently close the eyes. So this is the position. Now you have to relax all your muscles. Now you try to relax yourself. Close the eyes, focus in your body and try to relax the muscles. Try to relax as much as possible. Now I will give some instructions to relax your muscles still further. Look to your right hand. Now relax the muscles of the right hand from shoulder to the small finger. Take your mind on different muscles and instruct to the muscle through the mind for relaxation, and the muscle will relax. Of course, this is the first day, you may not experience to that extent, but at least something, some better relaxation you can experience. Then relax the right side of your chest, abdomen and waist. Relax the right leg totally. So right side of the body is relaxed. Now relax the left side of the body. Left hand from shoulder to the ring, small finger. Left side of the chest, abdomen and waist. Relax the left leg. Relax the back muscles, but don't bend forward. Relax the muscles of the lower abdomen and chest. Relax the muscles of the neck. Relax the muscles of the face from forehead to the tongue. And now you can experience the relaxation. You are feeling much better, pleasurable condition of your body. Because all stress and tension is reduced. Muscles are relaxed. And regular practice will make it still better now. Now when the muscles are relaxed, the breathing is normal. So focus your mind to your breath. You are feeling the gentle touch of air at the tip of your nose. Please do not control breath. Just observe as a third party. Witness your breath and observe that air is going in and coming out with very slow speed. Because the body is relaxed, so breathing has become very slow. Just observe your breath. Now during the class, when I will stop giving instructions, it means that whatever instruction is given, that is to be continued. So I told you to focus on your breath and then stop. Then keep on focusing your mind on the breath. In one way, this is a breath meditation also. As you focus more and more, you are feeling gentle touch of air in a better way. Sometimes you may not feel the touch because it is very gentle. In that case, you have to focus more and more. Concentrate more. Now keep your mind on breath only, but now you start controlling your breath. Let me start inhalation and exhalation willful. That means deep inhalation, long inhalation. So inhale as much as you can, fully. It may take some time. And then immediately you exhale. But that is also very small. It is also very smooth and long. And continue. This is called deep breathing. Inhale very slowly, deeply and fully. While inhaling, fill your lungs totally. And then exhale very slowly, exhale fully, that no air remains in the lung. And then fill the lung with the fresh air. This is the more important result of deep breathing. We are vacating our lung totally and we are filling the lungs also totally. So we are getting good air and of course the oxygen. Continue deep breathing, inhale fully, deeply and slowly, exhale also slowly, deeply and fully. Of course you have to inhale and exhale slowly as it is comfortable. Don't overstrain your lungs. Be comfortable. But still inhale deeply. Now complete the exhalation and stop deep breathing. Of course continue normal breathing. And gently open your eyes. So in this, we started to relax our body, but basically to sit properly, relax our body, focus on the breath, and then control the breath. If you instantly start controlling the breath, it is not proper. You will not be able to control also properly. But this is a proper system. So you have started practicing deep breathing. Of course, we have to focus on that and study much more in details hereafter. But one more important point I would like to mention, that we are breathing normally, so that is called normal breathing. If you are just in a relaxed condition, sitting in comfortable position, the normal breathing is about 15 breaths per minute. Little bit here and there may be there. For somebody it may be 18 also. Let us say 15 breaths per minute. That means inhalation is 2 seconds, exhalation is 2 seconds. So one round is 4 seconds. And so the 15 rounds per minute, 60 seconds. So our normal inhalation is 2 second inhalation, 2 second exhalation. And in deep breathing, now you can observe that we are inhaling deeply. Maybe inhalation 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6, 8. And exhalation also like that. So that is how we are controlling the total respiratory system. The organs are particularly the muscles of the chest, the muscles of the diaphragm, the muscles of the abdominal wall. They move very little in normal breathing. In deep breathing, they have to move much longer. So it is a training to our respiratory system for the proper breathing. So every day we must breathe properly like this for some time. So it will train our respiratory system and that will develop our breathing also properly, which will provide the proper oxygen, which is very essential to survive and function. So likewise we will study in more details the deep breathing and further different types of pranayamas in our further lessons. Today's lesson, we stop it here with the chanting of Om 11 times. So I will chant Om and please repeat after me. Please be ready, keep your body relaxed, spine erect, neck straight, eyes gently closed, and focus on the picture of Om. Hands of course in Dhyana Mudra. Hari Om Tat Sat.